The true meaning of being a provider. Society often limits the idea of being a provider to just making money. While financial provisions is important, a man must provide much more than that. A true provider ensures stability, security, and growth in every area of his household, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and mentally. If we go back to biblical foundations, Timothy 1 Timothy 5:8, but if anyone does not provide for his own, and especially for those of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. And being a provider is more than just the essentials. We have to understand that. So, being a provider, part of the foundation is earning and stability. A man must take responsibility for ensuring his family's needs are met without relying on his wife to carry the burden. Now, in this day and age, if a wife chooses to take on a profession, that's one thing. If it is she has a profession because of safety and security and the fear of not being financially stable, man, you're not a provider. You are a dependent. If you are dependent, the household's dependent on that income. We have to realize that there is a difference between a wealth mindset and a scarcity mindset. Fear-based financial decisions weaken leadership. We are called to provide through confidence and not desperation. Our wives, they multiply our efforts in every single way. Great example, and I have no idea what their faith is, but if you look at Grant Cardone and Elena Cardone, I believe Grant's worth $1 billion, but his wife talks about how she is the support system for him. She multiplies the efforts. She's a stay-at-home mom. You might say, well, yeah, she's a billionaire, but before that, she is giving back to the home through the children. So is he. Stewardship, excuse me, not just making money, but managing it wisely. Okay. Are we avoiding consumership? Are we building generational wealth? And are we leading with responsibility? Are we setting financial goals for the family, savings, investment, long-term security? Also being a provider, there are emotional provisions. Safety and strength in the home starts with the father. Are you providing emotional security for your wife and your children by being consistent, being unshakable, being present? A man who lives in fear creates an unstable home. If a man is ruled by his fears, his wife will feel unsafe, his children will feel a lack of confidence. Another emotional provision, control over one's emotions. As a man, as the husband, father, strength is not found in necessarily suppressing your emotions, but in mastering them. We have to master our emotions. We have to have them under control. Another biblical reference is Colossians 3:19, husbands, love your wives and do not be harsh with them. How many men listening to this right now, or women listening to this, have a husband who wants to speak to them in a manner which they would not allow another man to speak to them? It is far too common, even amongst those who claim that they are families of faith. Have conversations with your wife this week and ask, do you feel emotionally safe with me? Where can I improve? Again, as a provider, we have to provide them with a safe and secure environment. And that means working on our emotional intelligence. Spiritual, lead your family in faith. A man must be a spiritual leader in his home, setting the tone for faith, prayer, moral direction, decision. Again, having faith over fear, trust in God rather than letting the world dictate your household security. setting the example for your children. If they don't see you pursuing faith, they won't either. We can go back to a biblical reference, Joshua 24:15. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Challenge your family in prayer daily, even if it's just a short one. I pray every night and every single morning. I encourage my sons to do prayer. We say grace together and we take turns doing that. One of the things that I've been working on is praying with my wife once a day, even if it's at night, even if it's a short one. My son's wrestling matches. We'll do a prayer before his first one. We don't do them before all of them, but we do a prayer before his first one. Physical provisions, strength and protection. A man who cannot defend his home has failed as a provider. Safety is more than financial, it's physical security as well. We live in a Christian society where gluttony is accepted. If you look across the church, the landscape of the church in the West, especially in the United States, gluttony is okay. You have pastors teaching their congregation that it is okay to be overweight and get out of breath going up the stairs. That is not acceptable. You need to be a provider and knocking on that door of physical provisions, going through it. Because yes, we live in the comforts of 2025, but are you able to live in any time period throughout history? You do not know what the future holds. Zombie apocalypse, World War III. Again, never live in fear, but be prepared. If you do not take care of your body, you're limiting your ability to provide long term for your family. How do we teach our family to be less dependent on moderate systems, whether it be hunting, farming, self-sufficiency? How are we teaching our children to provide value, not just exchanging time for dollars, but exchanging value for dollars? Here's a challenge. Create a plan around some sort of self-defense or health improvement, train, exercise, prepare for any possible thing. As a man, it's like, are you in a jiu-jitsu class? Are you hitting the weights? Like, what are you doing? Just physically. It's so important. Your body can only go as far, your mind can only go as far as your body can take it. Your family needs a mission. Without a clear vision, a house drifts. Understand your decision making. A provider is not passive. He is a leader, makes decisions. You know, how a man provides structure, guidance, and discipline to his family, discipline as in discipleship, is going to create the culture. And if you do not provide your family with a culture, naturally, some sort of culture is still going to come about that household, whether you like it or not, good, bad, or the ugly. How many men are providing their family with a mission statement? Where are you leading them? Have you and your wife sat down and made that mission statement collectively? Because we have to think about being a provider. Because being a provider, how I've said, is not just the essentials. And I can tell you how too many men think that just the essentials is enough. Because the role of a provider is so important because it ensures that the necessities are foundational, but your role goes so far beyond that. It goes so far beyond just meeting the bare minimum. If we're not creating an environment where our wife and children can thrive, what kind of environment are we providing? And what does that give an example of how important our wife is, or how our children are being programmed to grow up and how they want to be treated and respected? Because if we are truly a provider and we are a strong masculine leader, and we understand that the wife truly multiplies our efforts by giving her the resources, security, and support that she needs to pour back into the home, right? When a husband provides an abundance, love, attention, experiences, he's going to strengthen the foundation of his home. We should not be asking what do we need to survive, but we should be asking what does the family need to actually flourish, right? How does our family flourish? Some of the closing statements, I'm going to just wrap this up, is a man's provisions is not just about money. It's about a holistic responsibility. In modern times, modern world, they want to diminish a man's role. But we have to rise to the occasion in being truly a provider and understanding what it means in every facet. So I want anyone who's listening to this, choose one area on this call and commit to improving it immediately. Husbands, what are you doing to improve your family's well-being? What are you providing for them to flourish? And wives, how do we get our husband on track? Because I don't believe that there's a woman out there who has any ill will or does not want to see their husband improve and flourish. It's just instinctually. It's like nesting and support. Like it's in the DNA. And men, we just have to be willing to step up to the plate.
If you've made it this far, I appreciate you. But if you're really serious about leveling up as a man, as a woman, in your marriage, in your leadership, you need to join my school community. Inside, we go way deeper. Live calls, guest speakers, real conversations with real people who actually want to grow. No fluff, no nonsense, just high-value men and women who want to sharpen each other. Go to school.com/ultimatehusband or search High Value Life. Join us today and let's get to work.